know I need to be social and all that, but yeah, I think you put out a lot of good information, real time information. So yeah, we'll see.
That the other thing, once we get that, the next thing I want to do is, and this wouldn't even cost any money, I just need to do it, is like have speakers on the concourse that, you know how when you're at like Nats games, Rams games, just the audio, I think that'd be really cool.
Take over those TV menu boards and just hack into it.
Just put me and Andrew on there.
We actually found some old Sweet TVs.
Oh yeah, we have a bunch
going to mount and do that. So
only takes a couple.
Yeah.
But then the sound.
We should do that over the next.
You found your friends at the DC Rays with that Monet Davis?
I've talked to them preliminary,
Right.
but I haven't gotten anything set in stone. I talked to the kid who's broadcasting there now, who he calls me all the time asking me for like advice and stuff like that, and I was like, well, what's it like working with Monet Davis?
I know, that must be cool.
Yeah, no kidding. But I think it's going to happen.
Yeah, we can have her throw out the pitch. We can
everything. It would be so cool.
Yeah. Turn it into roll the place up and let her be the.
Oh yeah,
That'd be awesome.
She's the broadcasting.
We can rebrand the Money Drop night right through the whole.
No, I think he takes a little break.
He's on the man. He's the man.
He's the man.
He's the
He
man.
really is.
He's the
the
best.
man.
Yeah.
Such a nice guy.
Oh yeah,
Super awesome, dude.
nobody's better.
All right, I'll leave you alone. Thank you.
Of course.
See ya. Yeah, no, that's okay. I was going to wait till I was to ask you, of course. What was the conversation? It's like impressive or what?
That was like a week before I got here.
No way! That's hilarious. So what happened? Like,
But now all of a sudden he's not.
yeah. That's nuts. Well, when he said, like, altercation with a woman online, I thought he would just go back. Oh. Okay, that makes more sense. Here we go.
This guy, a guy in Gastonia, and a guy on High Point, all were defensive backs in the SEC.
Nice.
This guy was on an NFL roster.
Really?
Jared Mitchell went to LSU and won a national. Jared Mitchell's on the Rockers. Won a national championship in baseball and in football. Let's get it.
This is Brandon Barker, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Brandon Barker welcomes himself into this game 2 of a twin bill between your Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, or should I say Brew Crabs, and the Lancaster Barnstormers. Southern Maryland taking the field as the Southern Maryland Brew Crabs for the first time in franchise history, because for the first time in franchise history, Steve, we have our very own beer here at Regency Furniture Stadium. Welcome back into the Baynet Press Box, live on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Andrew Banster alongside my broadcast partner Stevie Bowen. Let's get you through the starting lineups. We take into game 2. The Barnstormers drop to 6-8. They'll put Augie Silk on the mound, the left-hander number 35. Starting in the number 1 hole for the Barnstormers, the left fielder number 4, Devon Torrance. Batting second, the right fielder number 15, Caleb Gindle. Batting third, the designated hitter number 2, Blake Galen. In the cleanup spot, the center fielder number 1, Ladarius Clark. Batting fifth, the second baseman number 3, Melvin Mercedes. Batting sixth, the first baseman number 30, Kelly Dugan. Batting seventh, the third baseman number 6, Blake Allemond. Batting eighth, the shortstop number 12, Nick Schumpert. And batting ninth, the catcher number 19, Anthony Peroni.
As a first pitch, showing bunt right off the bat, Devin Torrance pulls back and takes that first pitch for a strike.
So Devon Torrance, the man with tons of speed, We've got some interesting anecdotes about him, but first, let's get to the Brew Crabs starting lineup. Batting first, once again, the left fielder, number 11, Jake Lucci. Batting second, the shortstop, number 12, Michael Baca. Batting third, the third baseman, number 7, Josh McAdams. In the cleanup spot, the right fielder, the man that hit the 2-run towering bomb back in Game 1, number 14, David Harris. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 17, Joe DeLuca. Batting sixth, the first baseman, number 15, Alex Crosby. Batting seventh, the center fielder, number 8, Zach Collier. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, number 2, Jake Marshall. And batting ninth, the second baseman, number 6, Kent Blackstone. Pisano goes and make that. Crosby goes and gets it himself. Way to fill your position, Brandon Barker. Pitchers are athletes too, Stevie. 2 quick outs.
Nice job there by Pisano, getting over and getting that first out of the inning. Looked like Blackstone was playing back on the grass. That slow roller realized might not be able to get there in time. Good heads-up play by Pisano and Barker to get the out.
So that brings up Caleb Gindel, the number 2 hitter. Gindel has been back and forth between the Barnstormers and affiliated baseball. But let's go back to the start of his career as he shatters his bat in half, Stevie.
Wow. And that, when you say in half, that means in half. That bat perfectly, almost right down the middle, shattered it.
Throws left, bats left. Gindel was originally drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers in the 5th round of the 2007 MLB June Amateur Draft from Pace High School in Pace, Florida. He made his MLB debut back on June the 15th, 2013. Played in his final MLB game to this date back on May 11th, 2014. In his MLB career, he played in a total of 65 games, hit 5 home runs, drove in 14. Gindel has found himself again moving back and forth between affiliated and independent baseball. He played straight through an affiliated ball through 2015, then switched over to the Atlantic League as a member of the Barnstormers in 2016. He swings through a high fastball for strike number 3. After that 2016 season, back into affiliated ball with the Giants in AA, then back to Lancaster, then back to affiliated ball, AAA Sacramento River Cats, and then in 2018, again with the AA of the Giants. So, guys back and forth, was in Lancaster in 2019, had a fantastic season, hit 291 that year, 32 doubles, 22 homers, 91 runs driven in, a career high for Caleb Gindel, who gives way to Blake Galen. And a quick strike number 1.
Galen went 0 for 3 in the first game today with a strikeout and a line out to Jake Lucci in left field.
As a hot shot to the right side, no problem for David Harris. He's had a fantastic day to this point. If you're a Southern Maryland fan, you gotta have a big smile on your face as we head into the bottom of the first. Brandon Barker, fantastic. Top of the first, but wait, before we leave, Stevie, let's talk a little bit about Game 1. We didn't really get a good chance to recap. Let's give you the final lines in that contest. We go back to just a couple of hours ago, earlier today. It was a game that was meant for last night, but was eventually moved to this afternoon. Southern Maryland found themselves in that contest earlier today, winning by a score of 3-0. The offensive stars in that game, hard to find. The Blue Crabs, in fact, who won 3-0, went just 3 for 20 as a team. They also drew 5 walks, 2 coming from Pisano, another 2 coming from Zach Collier. The 3 hits in the game from the 2-3-4 batters for the Blue Crabs. The scoring started and ended in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Southern Maryland saw Michael Baca get on base. Pisano drove him right in. And right after that, with a runner at second, David Harris sent a ball into the stratosphere way out of this ballpark. We'll stay on through this half inning to give you the final lines. Mike Devine gets the win, advancing to 1-2 on the young season. The right-hander was magnificent. 6 in the 3rd innings pitched, 2 walks, 3 hits, no runs, and how about 10 strikeouts. Matt Lato shut the door on the Barnstormers. The righty MLB veteran got his 2nd save of the year in 2 1/3 to make that 2/3 of an inning. No strikeouts, hits, walks, or runs allowed for Latos. Tommy Shirley gets the loss in this game, falls to 2-1. He went 4 innings earlier today. He allowed 3 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned. A trio of walks to go along with 5 strikeouts. Yoel Espinal got the next 2 innings on the hill. No hits, 2 walks, no runs, 2 strikeouts. So David Harris has got to be your MVP of the game right after Mike Devine, or what order would you put them in?
Honestly, I would say they would coincide next to each other. I don't know if we had to choose who we would decide. Because Mike Devine, of course, we don't have that shutout win without Mike Devine absolutely going off on the mound there. We talked about him. His first 2 starts of the season weren't so hot. Came in this game locked in, ready to go with his first start at home. And of course, on the other side of it, David Harris, who just absolutely went off at the plate. So, if I had to choose, I think I would choose Devine.
Jake Lucci steps into his left-handed batter's box. He'll face off against a fellow left-hander on the hill, number 35, Augie Silk. So Ross Peoples puts on the mound for game 2 of a twin bill. First pitch, Lucci sees just a little low for ball number 1. Silk's next pitch, also low. Not the start he was looking for to the contest. 2-0 the count. Bottom of the first, 0-0 the score here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. And just like that, 3 balls, no strikes the count. Silk's last start was a little bit of a struggle. It was his only appearance of the year. And I beg your pardon, it was not a start, it was a relief appearance. The left-hander went 3 innings, he allowed 6 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned. Walked 3 while striking out 4, giving him a 12 ERA on the young season. Jake Lucci made some fantastic plays defensively back in game 1 of this doubleheader. But the left-handed hitting left fielder went 0 for 3 in the contest. Southern Maryland won 3-0. As we mentioned, only 3 Blue Crabs had a hit. In fact, Stevie, there was only 6 hits in the entire game combined between the 2 teams. It was certainly a defensive showdown. As Lucci loops one to shallow left center, going back to shortstop, but coming in, calling him off is the center fielder for the Barnstormers, number 1, Ladarius Clark, for out number 1.
The ball looked like that was going to get dropped in no man's land between the shortstop, left field, and center. As you said, with that speed from Ladarius Clark, able to come in and call him off on that ball and make the nice play. Baca's the one that started the scoring for them. Back in the 3rd inning of the first game of the day, he led it off with a 2-out double and was driven in by Dario Pisano right afterwards.
Pisano awaits on deck. He had a great game 1 as well. We didn't talk about it enough, but he went 1 for 1, drew a walk, make that 2, drove in a run, and also scored 1. So getting it going on all fronts was Pisano. Baca went 1 for 3 with a run scored. He hit a double. He also struck out twice. Southern Maryland Brew Crabs, as we call them this evening, honoring the Blue Crabs' very own beer. It's an off-speed, misses in the dirt, 2-1 the count. And again, same theme as game number 1. If you're Ross Peoples, or even any coach on this staff for the Lancaster Barnstormers, the last thing you want to see is your pitcher throwing a lot of pitches. So a really good plate approach by every single Blue Crab to this point. Hot shot to the left side, no problem for Nick Shumpert at shortstop.
And you know, with a bat like that, you really can't be mad. You put as much contact on that ball as you possibly could. It just happened to be directly at the shortstop. Good placement there by Shumpert.
Josh McAdams entering play today through 12 games, had batted in the cleanup spot in every single Blue Crabs game. In game 1 of this contest, he got it in the 5-hole. Here today in the 3-hole. Flashing back to game 1, McAdams went 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. Silk's first pitch, a looking strike number 1 to the 3rd baseman. McAdams, a pair of home runs on the year, one on the season opener, another back on Tuesday. In fact, between Tuesday and today, there hadn't been any runs scored after that 2-run home run from Josh McAdams back in the bottom of the first on Tuesday. So 4 of the 5 Blue Crab runs scored in the last 5 days have been scored on home runs, both to left field, both by the cleanup hitter. The first time, of course, it was Josh McAdams. Earlier today was David Harris in his newfound cleanup spot. Silk works a 3-1 count to McAdams. The pitch, big swing, but a miss, 3-2 the count. McAdams waiting the payoff pitch from Silk. On its way, hit well down the third base line, but foul, and it'll take at least 7 pitches to retire or advance to the next batter.
Now, we talked about it. Josh McAdams, not a great game last game. He said 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts, but so far in this at-bat, so far in this top of the first inning, each batter has seen at least 4 pitches from this batter, so they're doing a nice job trying to draw out these counts.
You couldn't ask for much more than that. Of course, a quality at bat is considered 7 or more pitches, but when each of your first 3 batters see at least 4 pitches, that is a good thing. McAdams drives one to right center, right at Blake Galen, who drifts to his right, puts up his glove, and snags it for out number 3. We've now played 8 innings of baseball today between the first end of our doubleheader and the first inning of this second game. We've only seen scoring in 1 inning. It was the bottom of the third of that first game. Let's take you right into the top of the second on the other end of this break on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Daryl Thompson, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Chick-fil-A of Charles County has been a proud supporter of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs since their inception in 2008. For years, they have sponsored the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, America's prisoners of war and missing in action. In between the second inning of each game, there is a moment of silence brought to you by Chick-fil-A. The Southern Maryland Blue Crabs appreciate and respect not only Chick-fil-A, but all of those that have served our great country. The seat that they sponsor was made possible by Chick-fil-A of Charles County. Thank you so much, and visit any of your Charles County Chick-fil-A locations today. Through October of 2021, COVID-19 vaccinations are offered right here at Regency Furniture Stadium. No appointment necessary. Just swing on by and get your COVID-19 vaccination today. Take one for the team, Southern Maryland. Get the vaccine.
This is David Harris, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Into the top of the second we go here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Live from the Baynet Press Box at Regency Furniture Stadium, Andrew Banstra alongside my broadcast partner Stevie Bowen. Brandon Barker back out onto the mound for his second inning of work. His first was pretty darn good. The right-hander coming into today's ball game found himself with an 0-2 record, but not indicative of his performance so far, rather of the run support he's received. A 2.70 ERA entering play today for the right-hander. Barker's pitch, a little high, little outside, evening the count at a ball and a strike.
Barker just came at Ladarius Clark with 3 straight fastballs. Not something you normally see from a pitcher to start off. You see that off pitch going down and away into the dirt for ball 1. Should be ball 2.
The story for Brandon Barker, a guy that has deep Georgia roots, grew up in Georgia. After high school, stayed in Georgia for college. After college, was drafted by the Atlanta Braves. Would end up getting traded eventually, but made the AAA level with multiple organizations. He's a proven guy and proves that he's got it right there. Strike number 3 to Melvin Mercedes, who, despite coming in awfully hot, the Blue Crabs have had no problems with to this point in the day. I beg your pardon, that was Ladarius Clark that was just struck out. Now Mercedes up to the plate, who received a healthy cheering upon coming up to the plate. Must have some sort of fan section or family.
Andrew, back to your point, though, the Blue Crabs pitchers have done a great job of containing Melvin Mercedes. Went 0 for 3 with a strikeout and a pair of groundouts the last game.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're looking for against a guy who's had a very hot bat. As you see the stadium almost completely engulfed by shade. If you look out in left center field, a good example would be the Tony McClure sign in left center field. Just his face still has the sunshine on it.
Tony McClure and his Grand Slam team.
It's true. He's been the official realtor of the Blue Crabs since 2008. Additionally, these seats that are no longer used right in front of us, of course, called Tony McClure's Prime Real Estate seats. Hot shot to the left side. Blackstone on a bounce. Throws across the infield. Crosby gloves it for out number 2. Brandon Barker working quickly through the first 5 outs of this contest.
Nice job. That was a hot shot off the bat. Good job by Michael Baca, able to just stay down on that ball and make that play to first.
That gives way to Kelly Dugan, the former second-round draft pick by the Philadelphia Phillies, making his first appearance of the day so far. Stevie, I don't know why, but I think you'll like this.
I probably will.
After playing an affiliated ball from 2009 to 2017, Dugan played for the Chicago Dogs in 2019.
Already a great name, the Chicago Dogs.
A diving catch, no problem for Zach Collier. Yet another web gem to put on the resume for this Blue Crabs outfield. But to finish my story, he played in the Constellation Energy League in 2020 for the Lightning Sloths.
Nice.
So I figured you might like that.
Lightning Sloths.
It's a pretty good name.
Now that is a good name.
It's true. Lightning Sloths is how we get you into the bottom of the second inning. I would not have expected those words to ever come out of my mouth. But hey, here we are. It's a doubleheader live from Regency Furniture Stadium. Andrew Banstra alongside Stevie Bowen. We'll be right back right here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Joe DeLuca, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Whether it's Chris Paul, Cliff Paul, Aaron Rodgers, or even the son of a former Blue Crab, Patrick Mahomes, you've seen many athletes endorsing State Farm. That's because your State Farm agent has your back through good times and not so good times. That's why all the Blue Crabs, Daryl Thompson, and the whole team trust State Farm with their insurance needs. State Farm is the company people have trusted for over 99 years to help life go right. Call your local State Farm agent, Greg Conklin, today at 240-776-4289. When you're in the market to buy or sell a home, call Tony McClure of Century 21 New Millennium and his Grand Slam team, the realtor of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs since our first season in 2008. Tony and his team of preferred partners includes Tim Murphy of CNF Mortgage and Steve Scott of the Scott Law Group. Together, they will ensure that your real estate needs are nothing short of a grand slam. The quality service you will receive is Hall of Fame worthy. Put Tony's 41-plus years of experience to work for you. Call or text Tony today at 301-928-1280 for your... The aforementioned David Harris leads us off here in the bottom of the second inning, right here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. First pitch he sees from Augie Silk a little outside. The count 1-0.
As we talked about, hard to choose between Harris and Devine for the MVP of that last game. As you go through his line, he was 1 for 3 with that big home run, and then had a couple key plays out in right field.
Certainly. Harris had that moonshot home run to left field that the second it was hit, both of us, and I think everybody inside this ballpark knew exactly what the result was going to be. We were never going to see that baseball again. He hits this one awfully high, but not quite as far. The shortstop, Nick Schumpert, ranges back to the outfield grass, catches it on a back pedal for out number 1. That brings up Joe DeLuca. DeLuca hitting in his highest spot in the batting order to this point in the season. Slides up to the 5 hole after hitting in the 6 hole in the last game. The catcher hitting .250 on the season, 0 for 3 in the first game. Hard ground ball to the left side. Nick Schumpert bodies it up but throws it over the first baseman's head. Kelly Dugan unable to go get that baseball, and that could bring some light to a Southern Maryland offense.
You know, Joe DeLuca, first pitch swing, and we talked about wanting to get these guys to go deeper into these counts. And you see first pitch swing, I just rolled over on top of it, but got lucky there with an error from Schumpert at shortstop, as now we got a runner on with 1 out.
So a runner at first in the form of Joe DeLuca. A left-on-left matchup ensuing as Alex Crosby graces the batter's box for the first time in the day. First pitch he sees of the day misses outside, and number 15 sees a 1-0 count. Stevie, we got to get these fans to see the jersey that the Brew Crabs are wearing today, because it is beautiful. As Crosby hits one well to the left side, this one back to the wall, bouncing right off that Dairy Queen Blizzard sign. Center fielder comes up throwing. It'll be a play at the plate. Joe DeLuca slides home, claps towards the crowd, and a 1-0 Blue Crabs lead here in the bottom of the second.
And off the bat, that looked to be just a lazy fly ball to left field, but that thing just kept carrying and bounced off that Dairy Queen sign in left center field, as Alex Crosby, in his first hit of the day, gets a double and scores Joe DeLuca from first.
Southern Maryland on top 1-0 here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
But back to these jerseys.
Certainly.
They're sweet.
We'll get you to them in a moment. The shortstop Schumpert's error proves costly as an unearned run comes past. So Zach Collier steps back into the left-handed batter's box. A runner at second in the form of Alex Crosby. Collier with a chest-high fastball crossing for strike number 1. Collier back in game 1. He went 0 for 1, but drew 2 walks. Silks 1-0 gets past the catcher. Crosby was not quite feeling like he had a good enough jump to get to third. That's the right decision, although he hears chirping from the crowd. If you don't think you can make it, don't try it.
Yeah, I think it was also a very good decision to say at second base. You can see his facial expression from there. Wasn't sure if he should have gone or not, but absolutely nice job behind the plate by Peroni, able to get to that ball quickly and make sure he doesn't.
When you're in a position in that you're able to score on a single, why would you try to go to third? That might be more than a single, folks. Zach Collier sends a moonshot to center field, but it is gloved on a fantastic web gem by the center fielder Ladarius Clark, Willie Mays-esque, to rob Zach Collier of a extra base hit.
Willie Mays almost to a T as Clark did a fantastic job. I mean, that ball was on the warning track right up against that batter's eye. Zach Collier absolutely put a charge into that one. And Alex Crosby wasn't sure if it was going to drop or not and just unable to tag on the play.
So, of course, my point proves null and void as I argue that Crosby didn't need to advance to third on that pass ball. Of course, if he would have scored, but hindsight always 20/20. I still think he made the right decision.
Agreed.
That gives way to Jake Marshall, his first plate appearance of the day. One of the hottest bats in the Atlantic League in limited opportunities. Still trying to prove himself, but he's proven pretty effective to this point. He'll watch a ball downstairs, 1-1 to count. Get you a look at those jerseys we talked about right after this at bat. Chopper up the middle, off the glove of Silk. And that's going to have to go down as a base hit for Jake Marshall.
There's a nice hard hit ball up the middle. Nice job by Silk, able to get up there and honestly probably save a run with that hit. Because he was able to get up there with his glove and just kind of knock it down.
So that brings up the 9-hole hitter, Kent Blackstone. Blackstone trying to keep things going here with 2 down. In this bottom of the second, the Blue Crabs have already scored a run in the frame.
We talked about Blackstone a lot. A guy started off the season real hot. 2 home runs right out the gate.
Hard hit to the right side, but a defensive web gem. And that's not a term I use lightly, but we've seen 2 here in this frame, Stevie.
We've seen 2 very good plays so far in this game. It's going to be a fun one.
So the Blue Crabs score 1 in the bottom of the first. Had a couple chances to tack on a couple more, but some defensive excellence from the Lancaster defenders puts us into the top of the third right here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Matt Latos, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Weiss Markets is a proud sponsor of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs and has been since their inaugural season in 2008. Weiss Markets also presents one of the Blue Crabs' best and most famous promotions every single year. Kids can get in free to every single Blue Crabs game of every single year simply by wearing a jersey thanks to Weiss Markets. Weiss Markets can help you with all of your game day needs for a great price. Stop in at your local Weiss today. Eat better, spend less. That's wise. Weiss Markets is a proud sponsor of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. When you need a win on the road, don't get left stranded. Make AAA part of your roster and you'll always have someone on deck ready to get you home. AAA also offers car care, insurance, and travel services and has stores conveniently located for Blue Crabs fans in Brandywine, Crofton, and Alexandria. Don't forget to ask them about membership discounts for military and first responders. Please visit AAA.com to learn more or to find a AAA location near you.
To the top of the third we go. Here in a swiftly moving contest. Brandon Barker back out for his third inning of work right here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Barker's first pitch, a curveball that misses for ball number 1. He'll face off against the 7-hole hitter, the third baseman, number 6, Blake Alamont. Barker's 1-0 offering in there to even the count at a ball and a strike. Now, Stevie and I, we are men of our word, and we'll show you that
Brew Crabs jersey that the Blue Crabs are wearing here this evening. Popped up on the screen for a moment there. Let's get it to you one more time, as it is just beautiful. Of course, it is in celebration of the Blue Crabs' very own beer that they released this season. Alamon sees a fastball inside, takes it, and it's called ball number 2.
Alamon last game went 0 for 2 in 3 plate appearances, had a walk back in the second, and then struck out and had a fly out to Jake Lucci out in left field, as he was one of those Barnstormers that just didn't have an answer for Mike Devine in the first game.
Game 1 was a 3-0 Blue Crabs victory. Southern Maryland's pitching has been elite today. A shutout in Game 1, back-to-back shutout innings to begin Game 2, and Barker beginning his third inning of work, looking to continue the streak. Cutter, outside corner, tipped foul but into the glove of Joe DeLuca for out number 1.
Nice job by Joe DeLuca. He got a piece of that ball, but it looked like it hit the very end of the bat. And normally when you hit the very end of the bat, it's going to shoot off to one side, but nice job by Joe DeLuca following that ball all the way into the glove.
You know, we talk about a role reversal here today. Southern Maryland's offense came in struggling, but they've shut out the opponents today while scoring all the runs that we've seen in these 2 contests. As right on cue, the Barnstormers get a base hit.
Ball that looked to be just a little bit outside of Josh McAdams' reach over there at third. It's a good piece of hitting by Shumpert, able to get on.
Nick Shumpert's base hit brings up the 9-hole hitter, the catcher number 19, Anthony Peroni. Peroni waves the bat above his red shiny helmet. Pickoff move over to first. The Southern Maryland faithful sure thought it was out number 2 of the inning. The first base umpire begged to differ. And, you know, he has the final say, so it's not going to be an out. Another pickoff move, close again. Again, Southern Maryland faithful thought it was an out. It was not.
I'll tell you, Andrew, these Southern Maryland faithful are some of the best fans I have ever seen.
This is true. 1 down, Peroni up at the bat. Barker's pitch, a 2-seamer. Works its way back inside the zone. The count, no balls and a strike. Pretty good showing here today from the crowd. You know, you never exactly know what to expect in a doubleheader because you have a certain amount of fans that come for both games, some that come for one but not the next, some that don't come to the first but come to the second. So collectively, a pretty good showing here today at Regency Furniture Stadium. 1-1 the count, 1 down and a 1-0 Blue Crabs lead here in this top of the 3rd inning on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Barker, another pickoff to first. Here's a man in a pickle. Blackstone, a pump fake. He's going to have to try to tag him. Now Barker's got the ball. Flips off to Josh McAdams and tags the runner out. Nick Shumpert outdone by a quartet of Blue Crabs for out number 2.
Now I'll give it to Nick Shumpert. He lasted a good while in that pickle, able to try to deke out some of those Blue Crabs players, but also a nice job being able to fill those roles after another person throws the ball. Perfectly display of a pickle there.
If anybody remembers back on Tuesday, Stevie and I were doing baseball bingo presented by the Charleston Senior Living Community. And one of the notches on my card was a player getting in a rundown. It's the first one we've seen at home here this evening, and make that this season. So Barker now has it back in the cards that he can face the minimum of 9 batters through 3 innings. He gets a little bit closer to that with a curveball in there for strike number 2. A ball and 2 strikes the count. Barker set, takes a big deep breath, has his sign from Joe DeLuca. The pitch, hit well, foul, and we'll stay at a ball and 2 strikes. The story on Anthony Peroni, he was born in Hamilton Square, New Jersey. It's where he resides to this day. Last played for the Auburn Doubledays. A low A team. And that's how we get through 2.5 innings of baseball. Yet another Brandon Barker strikeout. He has been magnificent to this point throughout this contest. For Barker, through his first 3 innings of work, how about 4 strikeouts, 1 hit, no runs, no walks? He's faced the minimum of 9 batters. Let's take you in to the bottom of the 3rd inning when we return right here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Ryan Caparese, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
American Radiology is the clear choice for all of your medical imaging needs. With locations in Charles and Calvert counties, they offer a full range of imaging services. Some of their latest innovations included 3D mammography and wide-open MRIs for our claustrophobic patients. For your convenience, they even offer extended weekday hours and Saturdays. For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit their website at AmericanRadiology.com. 2020 was a year unlike any other for everybody. Quickly, the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs came to the realization that baseball must take a backseat to humanity. Immediately, the Blue Crab staff and all of Crustacean Nation teamed together to provide COVID-19 tests and eventually vaccinations. Southern Maryland's hometown team also hosted food drives, blood drives, backpack drives, toy drives, and so much more, all to help their community. The Blue Crabs couldn't be more thankful to the healthcare heroes that have gotten us to this point and helped our community so much throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. That's why this season is dedicated to our healthcare heroes. Each Saturday night, we will have a healthcare hero, a local healthcare professional, throw out the first pitch of the game. To the bottom of the 3rd we go. Jake Lucci leads us off. Lucci, to this point on the day, 0 for 4, was 0 for 3 back in Game 1, has provided some stellar defense, but after a hot start offensively to the season, Lucci's bat has cooled down.
Yeah, as you mentioned, his bat has cooled down so far after that first couple of good games to start the season. But as we said, this guy's a natural leadoff guy. He's also, he's been around the block once or twice. He understands that when you're in kind of necessarily a slump right now, but when you're having these moments where you're just not hitting the ball, he'll bounce back sometime soon.
Lucci sees a 1-0 count from Augie Silk. Fastball high and tight. He wanted every piece of that, but missed. And the count evens at a ball and a strike. Take a look around the Atlantic League here in a moment. Silk on his way with his 1-1. Fastball low and in the dirt away. 2-1 the count. As we take a look around the Atlantic League, of course, the Blue Crabs won Game 1 here, 3-0. Another doubleheader in Lexington as the Gastonia Honey Hunters play in Lexington. Well hit fastball to the left side. It'll be a long run for Devon Torrance, who toys with that Blue Crabs bullpen but catches for out number 1. The final score of Game 1 between Lexington and Gastonia was 2-1 in favor of the Legends. Took just an hour and 56 minutes to get there. In York, the Ducks are trailing the Revolution 3-1 in the middle of the 7th inning. And the Rockers and the Power are tied at 3 apiece in the bottom of the 5th in Charleston. Michael Baca comes up to the plate. Drove in a run back in Game 1 of this contest. He shows bunt, pulls back, and it gets past the catcher, Anthony Peroni, for ball number 1. Baca has been seeing the ball awfully well to this point in the season in limited opportunities, hitting .333 since being signed back on June the 5th. A ball and a strike the count. And if you're Southern Maryland, you can't be complacent with just 1 run, of course. Can't be playing not to lose, but rather to win.
Now You can't really be happy with just that one run, especially in a league like this. We've talked about, there are a huge list of former MLB veterans that have played this game that are going to come out here and play, and they can tell you one run is definitely not a secured win in this league.
This is true. Here's a trivia question. How many people over the course of the Blue Crabs' 13-year history, as Baca fouls one away, 1 and 2 the count, how many people in the course of the Blue Crabs' history of their franchise have played in the MLB before or after joining the Blue Crabs?
You're asking me?
Or I could just give you the answer.
Don't do that, because I have no idea, and I want to throw out a number to see how far off I will be.
Okay.
But I have to think about this at the moment.
So we'll let you think as Baca bloops one to the right side. The right fielder, Blake Galen, comes in and gloves it for out number 2.
So, just 1 this season so far.
3.
But, no, I was thinking of just the ones that have been picked up so far. Just Braxton has left so far to go on to the majors. And
Certainly.
Now, we have Daryl and Matt Latos.
Exactly. That's what I was going to explain.
We have 3 at the moment. I'm trying to think of over years. You're saying since 2008 when we opened?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go out on a wild guess and say 53.
94 is the correct answer.
I wanted to say 100, but I didn't. I don't know why.
So over the course of 13 seasons, if you take 94 divided by 13, that's an average of about 7.2 MLB veterans per year, which is pretty darn good.
Which is normally the Atlantic League average, correct?
That's right.
Around that number?
That's right. You know, after that 2020 year, there was a handful of people that retired from professional baseball after taking that year off, which has kind of flipped the talent pool in the Atlantic League and spun it to a younger generation that hopefully will come up and create a new group that kind of becomes the face of the Atlantic League. Of course, the face of the league right now has to be guys like Daryl Thompson, Lou Ford. You could throw a Darian Sanford in there, guys that have been around for a long time.
You know, maybe not yet, but eventually I could see Brandon Phillips on that list of people as well.
Certainly. That I think he may be on more of a list of, with Jose Canseco and Ricky Henderson, guys that have been in this league that have had incredible careers in the MLB. Matt Latos certainly could be on that list without a question. I mean, he's a former Cy Young candidate. Phillips, a member of the Lexington Legends now, also a part owner of their team. Kind of wonder how that conversation went. He said, okay, I'm going to buy a portion of your team.
But I'm also going to play.
Only if I can play. And I think if I was one of the other owners, I would be like, yes and yes. Okay,
yeah,
come on. So where, just sign right here.
I feel like that's a no-brainer. Even if he ends up, say, not doing well, which is
unlikely.
Very unlikely. It's still Brandon Phillips on your team,
which
is huge to have.
It brings in fans. It's exciting. His brother, B.J. Phillips, is the manager of that team. Ben Revere, a longtime Philadelphia Philly, is the hitting coach for that team. Chopper up the middle off the bat of Josh McAdams. In comes Melvin Mercedes. Tries to toss it over to first with his glove, is unable to do so. Chalk it up as an E4, the second defensive error of the contest for the Lancaster Barnstormers.
And it looks like the official scoring is going to be a hit on that one for Josh McAdams.
That brings up David Harris. Last time David Harris came up to the plate with a 1-0 Blue Crabs lead, he annihilated a baseball over the left field mini monster. This time he also gets a good jolt into the ball, but not quite as far into the opposite side of the field. Blake Galen gloves it for out number 3, and that's how we say goodbye to the first 3 innings of baseball. When we come back, it's the top of the 4th. Brandon Barker back on the mound for your Southern Maryland Blue Crabs right here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Austin Glorious, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Through October of 2021, COVID-19 vaccinations are offered right here at Regency Furniture Stadium. No appointment necessary. Just swing on by and get your COVID-19 vaccination today. Take one for the team, Southern Maryland. Get the vaccine. Dyson Building Center is one of the oldest family-owned and operated hardware, lumber, and building supply stores in Southern Maryland. They are located in St. Mary's County on Route 5 in Great Mills. Dyson's has an expansive and diverse inventory to help you with all of your home improvement and project needs. Whether you're new to the world of DIY, a tried and true DIY professional, or somewhere in between, the friendly and experienced staff at Dyson Building Center is ready and willing to help you today.
Listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Ryan Caparese, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
There's nothing quite like when the Blue Crabs retire the side. At Wealth Management Partners, they're on your side for your retirement planning needs. It's never too early to start planning your retirement. Talk to the experienced financial advisors of Wealth Management Partners located right here in Waldorf. Call them today at 301-885-0955. Again, Wealth Management Partners. Call them today at 301-885-0955. Weiss Markets is a proud sponsor of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs and has been since their inaugural season in 2008. Weiss Markets also presents one of the Blue Crabs' best and most famous promotions every single year. Kids can get in free to every single Blue Crabs game of every single year simply by wearing a jersey thanks to Weiss Markets. Weiss Markets can help you with all of your game day needs for a great price. Stop in at your local Weiss today. Eat better, spend less. That's wise. Weiss Markets is a proud sponsor of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs.
This is Sam Burton, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Bottom of the fourth inning here at Regency Furniture Stadium. 1-0 is the score. After a one-out double from Alex Crosby off the left field wall. Plates Joe DeLuca from first base. So the Blue Crabs are holding this 1-0 lead heading into the bottom of the fourth inning. It's going to bring up the catcher, Joe DeLuca, who reached on an error by the shortstop, Nick Schumpert. And a ground ball to him on the first pitch, and he sailed it over the first baseman's head as DeLuca takes that first pitch for a strike. Second pitch swinging a little slow roller to the second baseman. And nice job being able to field that is Melvin Mercedes as quickly after two pitches is the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up the guy we just talked about, hit that big double off the left field wall in the second inning to bring in the only run of the game so far. Alex Crosby comes to the plate. Crosby, another guy on this Blue Crabs lineup that gets thrown into certain situations. Not an everyday starter, but has proved himself to come in and help out when he needs them. As a slow dribbler to the second baseman. Another play picked up cleanly by Mercedes at second. Throwing on to the first baseman for the second out of the inning. And now quickly we are two away. And brings up Zach Collier, who, if that batter's eye was about 10 to 15 feet closer to home plate, would have had a big home run back in the second inning. As Ladarius Clark made an amazing Willie Mays-esque catch over his shoulder in center field to preserve a run. The first pitch to Collier. We've talked about Collier normally in the lineup spot for this team and now moved down into the 7 spot. Still able to produce as a hitter. Started off slow with a few strikeouts to start off the season for him. Then eventually figured it out after the first couple games as he takes that pitch for a strike. That brings the count now to 1-1 to Collier. Augie Silk now trying to stay in this game. Only down 1 run. So now the count is 2-1 to Collier. Comes the pitch. Look to be a changeup there, hit right on that outer half of the strike zone. Brings the count even at 2-2. Zach Collier, as we said, drafted by the Philadelphia Phillies in the first round of the 2008 MLB June Amateur Draft from Chino Hills High School. Guy, as we said, started off the season not so hot. 14 strikeouts for him on the season. He's a .226 batter with a .306 on base percentage. As he check swings on that one, said he didn't go around. There's going to be a 2-out walk. And that's going to bring up the DH and a good bat of Jake Marshall. Marshall reached on a base hit there as he had that hard ground ball come back to soak the pitcher, and it bounced off of his glove and over to the shortstop of Schumpert as they awarded him the base hit. He comes in here with 2 outs and a runner on first. First pitch swing and sends one out to center field, but it looks like Clark is going to be camped under it for the 3rd out of the inning. That's going to end it here from the bottom of the 4th inning. We will be back in the top of the 5th with more action here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Ryan Caparese, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Did you know that the Washington, D.C. metro area is the 5th most expensive place to live in the entire United States of America? Sometimes finding affordable housing in this area can feel impossible. If you're struggling to find affordable housing, look no further than the Villages of St. Charles by Ross Properties. You can visit them online at villagesatstcharles.com for more information today. Villages of St. Charles, they'll have you safe at home. There's nothing quite like when the Blue Crabs retire the side. At Wealth Management Partners, they're on your side for your retirement planning needs. It's never too early to start planning your retirement. Talk to the experienced financial advisors of Wealth Management Partners located right here in Waldorf. Call them today at 301-885-0955. Again, Wealth Management Partners. Call them today at 301-885-0955.
This is Kent Blackstone, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Top of the 5th inning here at Regency Furniture Stadium. Blue Crabs holding on to just a 1-run lead. Coming off the bat of a double from Alex Crosby back in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Brandon Barker still on the mound here for the Blue Crabs. 5 strikeouts for him in this game. As we're going to start off with the second baseman, Melvin Mercedes, for the Lancaster Barnstormers. That pitch is going to be high and outside, and it's going to bring the count even to 1-1. Talk about a guy like Melvin Mercedes, who's been very hot at the plate coming into this game, but just not having an answer against these Blue Crabs pitchers as he grounds out to the shortstop. Michael Baca with the play, and we have the first out of the top of the 5th. That's going to bring up Kelly Dugan, who lined out to Zach Collier to end the the top of the 2nd inning. That first pitch is going to be low and inside, as he's going to start off 1-0. Second pitch to Dugan, and a big hack coming from him as he was looking to put that ball over the batter's eye in center field as he swings through. Even the count at 1-1. Another big swing from Dugan. after a first pitch ball, has 2 big swings and now is down 1-2. Dugan drafted by the Phillies in the second round of the 2009 MLB June Amateur Draft. Drafted out of Notre Dame High School in Sherman Oaks, California. 268 for him on the season with a 362 on base percentage. 2-2 the count for him, with 1 out in the top of the 5th. The 2-2 pitch. Going to be low and inside. Can't catch a piece of that strike zone as the count now runs full. Barker, borderline unhittable on the mound so far tonight. Comes the payoff pitch. And another big swing. Just a little too ahead of that ball as he ropes it foul. He stays alive. So far, only 1 inning for the Barnstormers lineup where they haven't gone 1-2-3. As their first hit came in the top of the 3rd on a Nick Shumpert base hit, but then was caught on a pickoff move from Barker. Another 3-2 pitch. Another big swing, and he swings right through it. And another strikeout for Barker. As quickly now, we have 2 outs in the top of the 5th. That is 6 strikeouts now and just 5 2/3 innings for Barker, as he has really seemed to find his groove now on the mound. It's going to bring up the third baseman Blake Allemond. So far, just 0 for 1 for him with a strikeout. We talked about him in the last game earlier today. 0 for 2 with 3 plate appearances. Had a walk, a strikeout, and then a deep fly out to Jake Lucci in left. Barker doesn't like the ball he has, requests a new one. Beautiful night here at Regency Furniture Stadium. That pitch is going to go outside. Seems like Barker throughout this game trying to paint those corners, keep everything on the outer half of that strike zone. You know, this Barnstormers team, no shortage of power from them. Count now 2-1 for Allemond. As we remember, the doubleheader today, we played 2 7-inning games. As we are here in the top of the 5th, the latter half of this one. 2-1 the count. Here comes the pitch from Barker. And a big fly to center field. Collier's got to reach back for it, but camps under it for the 3rd out of the inning. 1-2-3 again for Brandon Barker on the mound as he struts off looking confident as ever. We're going to take us into the bottom of the 5th inning. Coming up for your Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. We'll be right back on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Josh McAdams, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
American Radiology is the clear choice for all of your medical imaging needs. With locations in Charles and Calvert counties, they offer a full range of imaging services. Some of their latest innovations included 3D mammography and wide-open MRIs for our claustrophobic patients. For your convenience, they even offer extended weekday hours and Saturdays. For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit their website at AmericanRadiology.com. The Charles County Department of Health encourages you to get the COVID-19 vaccination today. You can get it all over Southern Maryland or no matter where you are across the United States. Vaccinations are offered right here at Regency Furniture Stadium with no appointment needed. Charles County Department of Health and the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs urge you to take one for the team and get the vaccine.
Monkey. This is Dario Pisano, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Bottom of the fifth inning here at Regency Furniture Stadium. I'm Steve Bowen. Alongside me, my broadcast partner, Andrew Banstra. The Blue Crabs still holding on to just a one-run lead that came from an Alex Crosby backside double off the wall in left field back at the bottom of the second inning. As leading off here in the bottom of the fifth, going to be the second baseman, number 6, Kent Blackstone. He's going to look at that first pitch for a strike. Second one is going to take Peroni's glove off for him, as it looked like it broke a little bit too far outside. Wasn't expecting it. The count now goes even to 1-1. Blackstone grounded out to end the bottom of that second inning. A ground ball to the first baseman. As that third pitch is going to run a little bit too far inside. Count's going to go to 2-1. The 2-1 pitch, that one's going to be high and in. Run the count to 3-1 now. Talked about Blackstone. Started off the season very hot at the plate. Had a pair of home runs through the first 3 games. As he's going to walk on 5 pitches. The Blue Crabs have a runner on here with no outs in the the bottom of the 5th. And that's going to flip-flop the lineup back around to the top, and it's going to be Jake Lucci starting it off now with a runner on. Lucci 0 for 2 on the day so far with a pop out to center field. And then another fly out to left. Talked about it before. Love his approach when he comes to the plate. Said he looks a little bit like Juan Soto, how he comes up there fired up, ready to go. It looks like he's just more of a get himself psyched kind of guy, as there's going to be a meeting on the mound. Talking to Augie Silk. Talk about Jake Lucci, who went to Allen High School in Allen, Texas. Played ball at Elon University and Jefferson College in Hillsboro, Missouri. And so far this season, just a 152 batting average for him. As we said before, started off pretty hot at the plate. Then he gets moved into this leadoff spot for the first time today, but he's a true leadoff guy and known to bounce back situations like this as he comes up here with a runner on and no outs. Shows to bunt but pulls back, is going to take that first pitch for a strike. They appeal just to make sure. Was unable to pull back in time. And still the count is 0-1 to Lucci. Third baseman Blake Alamon playing well in front of that third base bag. Shows to bunt again, drops it right in front of the pitcher in Silk. Looks to second just in case, but a sacrifice bunt for Jake Lucci, as he is going to be out at first as Blackstone moves to second base. That's also something you want to see in your leadoff guy. It's nice to see the number 9 get on, and the first baseman can really do whatever he wants at that point. Lay down a bunt, potentially beat it out. Do his best to get a base hit at that point. A nice job moving Blackstone over because you have a good batter, and Michael Baca coming up to the plate next. Baca started things off for the Blue Crabs in the last game with that 2-out double at the bottom of the 3rd inning. And eventually came around to score from a Pisano base hit, and then David Harris with the absolute nuke to left field. He's going to take that first pitch for a strike. Blackstone, not a super huge lead at second base, as that second pitch is going to be low and in the dirt. Count goes even to 1-1. Baca, if I remember correctly, we talked about it, had 2 to 3 errors and went 0 for 4 in that first game with the Blue Crabs. Just took him a minute or two to kind of get in the groove of being on a new team. And lately, he really has solidified this second spot in the lineup. As a big swing there on a good breaking ball from Silk. So they had him fooled at the plate, and the count now runs to 1-2. Ron Lord leading the charge call with the fans here. It's Regency Furniture Stadium. I know the Southern Maryland faithful would love to see a 2-win day here for the Blue Crabs. And another big swing from Baca. As he thinks he caught a piece of the ball for a foul ball. But Justin Burton, the home plate umpire, says otherwise. Now there's going to be 2 down here with a runner in scoring position for Josh McAdams to come up. McAdams had a slow roller that bounced over the pitcher's head and was able to beat out the throw to first. Was awarded the hit back in the 3rd inning. Back in the 1st, flew out to right field as a base hit here will surely bring Blackstone in from second. Comes the first pitch from Silk. It's going to be low and inside fastball for ball 1. Want to know the count here to McAdams. 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th inning. Blue Crabs holding just a 1-0 lead. That second pitch high in the strike zone, but called a strike. McAdams nods his head. He knew that was a strike as well. McAdams drafted in the 7th round by the Indians in the 2012 MLB Amateur Draft from Calhoun High School in Calhoun, Georgia. That third pitch, breaking ball, almost caught a piece of the strike zone, but McAdams lays off of it for second ball of the at-bat. McAdams batting just .188 this season. 2 home runs and 6 RBIs for him, and a big swing as he misses that one, and the count now even at 2-2. Talked about it a couple times on a couple different broadcasts so far this season. One of the things the Blue Crabs really need to work on is getting those runners in from scoring position. A lot of times you look at the box scores after the games, you see a lot of runners left on base, especially in these games. We saw that last one against the York Revolution, a tough 12-1 loss. That pitch right down the middle. Josh McAdams lets it go by for strike number 3. Blackstone leads it off with a walk. But then 3 straight outs for the Blue Crabs. They are unable to bring him in from second base. Top of the 6th inning coming back up. It's going to be Shumpert, Peroni, and then the top of the lineup here for the Lancaster Barnstormers when we return here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Carlos Diaz, and you are listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Good.
American Radiology is the clear choice for all of your medical imaging needs. With locations in Charles and Calvert counties, they offer a full range of imaging services. Some of their latest innovations included 3D mammography and wide-open MRIs for our claustrophobic patients. For your convenience, they even offer extended weekday hours and Saturdays. For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit their website at AmericanRadiology.com. The Charles County Department of Health encourages you to get the COVID-19 vaccination today. You can get it all over Southern Maryland or no matter where you are across the United States. Vaccinations are offered right here at Regency Furniture Stadium with no appointment needed. Charles County Department of Health and the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs urge you to take one for the team and get the vaccine.
Monkey.
This is Austin Glorious, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Top of the 6th inning here at Regency Furniture Stadium. Blue Crabs still holding on to that 1-run lead coming off the bat of Alex Crosby back in the bottom of the 2nd. Brandon Barker back on the mound here for the Blue Crabs. As the first pitch swinging is going to be a slow roll to Baca. Got to get across the diamond. And he does, able to make the play for the first out of the inning. And a quick first batter for Barker. As at this point, he's going strong on the mound. Would not be surprised to see him finish out the rest of this game. That's going to bring up the number 9 batter, Anthony Perrone. As he is 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout coming in the the top of the 3rd inning. As that ball is absolutely ripped to left field. That ball is out of here. And just like that, one pitch and one swing is all you need. Anthony Perrone sends one deep to left field. And the Barnstormers have tied this game up in the bottom of the 6th inning. What you have to remember is, normally in a real game, be technically the bottom of the 8th inning. As Coach Stan Clyburn is going to come out and talk to his starter. Just a real nice piece of hitting by Perrone, seeing that first pitch fastball and really just jumping on it. Looks like Barker is going to sit down, and that's going to be it for him. As the Blue Crabs are going to bring a reliever in. Good day from Barker so far. 6 Ks for him on the day, just 3 hits given up. Sadly, one of those hits was the game-tying home run from Anthony Perrone. We're going to take a quick break and come right back to you here with more action in the top of the 6th inning on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Through October of 2021, COVID-19 vaccinations are offered right here at Regency Furniture Stadium. No appointment necessary. Just swing on by and get your COVID-19 vaccination today. Take one for the team, Southern Maryland. Get the vaccine. Dyson Building Center is one of the oldest family-owned and operated hardware, lumber, and building supply stores in Southern Maryland. They are located in St. Mary's County on Route 5 in Great Mills. Dyson's has an expansive and diverse inventory to help you with all of your home improvement and project needs. Whether you're new to the world of DIY, a tried and true DIY professional, or somewhere in between, the friendly and experienced staff at Dyson Building Center is ready and willing to help you today.
This is Blake Bivens, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Andres Brisano is now going to take the mound here for the Blue Crabs. As a one-pitch swing from the catcher, Anthony Perrone, ties the game up for the Barnstormers. It is now a 1-1 game here in the top of the 6th inning. Realistically, would have been the top of the 8th inning if we weren't playing a doubleheader today. Bersano's first pitch, going to go high and outside. It's going to be a ball to the leadoff guy, Devon Torrance. Bersano so far this season, just 5 appearances, 3.86 ERA in 4 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 4 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned. He's given up a home run and a pair of walks. As now the count's going to run even at 1-1. And another big swing from Torrance. Count now 1-2 here.
Not a fun situation to come in if you're Andres Bersano, but nonetheless, that's the life and role of a reliever, so big situation.
And another big swing, 3 in a row there for Devon Torrance as Bersano sits down the first guy he sees on 4 pitches.
And, to be honest with you, Stevie, if you gave me a list of all 18 offensive starters, the last one I might have picked was Anthony Perrone, simply based off of experience, but you never know who's going to make that one big swing to completely change the dynamic of a baseball game. That's the beautiful and brilliant part about this game.
That's always what you think. You get to those 7, 8, 9 batters, you're looking at guys with not as much power as guys you see in the top of those lineups. But, of course, it's always the 9 batter that comes through clutch in the end with the big home run. As that first pitch is going to be taken for a ball. Comes the 1-0 pitch from Bersano. Going to be low and in on Caleb Gindel. It kind of skips out of the way of that one, and it's going to go 2-0.
To my point, this is Perrone's 13th game played in this season. That was his first extra base hit.
Wow.
And it comes on a home run to tie the ball game.
And it comes in absolutely perfect time. 2-0 the count here to Gindel. Gindel 0 for 2 this game as he fouls one right back to the screen. Count's going to stay at 0-2.
To finish the point, in fact, it was only his 4th career professional home run. Last played for the Auburn Doubledays in the now-defunct New York Penn League.
Two and 1 the count here to Gindel. Tried to check his swing, but caught a solid piece of the bat. As a nice fielding play on that foul ball by Josh McAdams. Count now even at 2 apiece with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. Bersano, the kind of pitcher, really true reliever on this team, is going to come in, going to give you an inning or 2, exactly what you need. As he comes in, trying to keep this a tie ball game here in these late innings. 2-2 pitch. A big swing as that one's lifted to Collier in center field. Has to run in a step or 2 to get it, but he is camped under it for the 3rd out of the inning. Barnstormers tie the game up on a first pitch big swing from Anthony Perrone. As we are now tied 1-1 heading into the last inning here of this doubleheader. The bottom of the 6th inning in this doubleheader game. 1-1 the tie. We will be right back on Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Matt Latos, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Weiss Markets is a proud sponsor of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs and has been since their inaugural season in 2008. Weiss Markets also presents one of the Blue Crabs' best and most famous promotions every single year. Kids can get in free to every single Blue Crabs game of every single year simply by wearing a jersey thanks to Weiss Markets. Weiss Markets can help you with all of your game day needs for a great price. Stop in at your local Weiss today. Eat better, spend less. That's wise. Weiss Markets is a proud sponsor of the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. When you need a win on the road, don't get left stranded. Make AAA part of your roster and you'll always have someone on deck ready to get you home. AAA also offers car care, insurance, and travel services, and has stores conveniently located for Blue Crabs fans in Brandywine, Crofton, and Alexandria. Don't forget to ask them about membership discounts for military and first responders. Please visit AAA.com to learn more or to find a AAA location near you. Into the bottom of the sixth we go, right here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. After the first Barnstormers run of the entire day, it's a brand new ball game. 1-1 your score here in the bottom of the sixth. David Harris steps up to the plate. Little bookkeeping. Devon Torrance is officially out of this game. Blake Galen moves to left. A newcomer onto the mound, it is Gabriel Moya, a left-hander, native of Venezuela. The southpaw pitched in the MLB as a member of the Minnesota Twins in 2017 and 2018. So pretty recently, as the southpaw offers a sinker in there for strike number one. 2018 was the more experienced groundwork, foot on the ground, just get things going year for the left-hander. He appeared in 35 games, starting 6 of them while finishing another 5. He held a 4.71 ERA, in addition to a 3-1 record. Pitched 42 2/3 innings in the big leagues, striking out 36 batters, so pretty impressive numbers. The ERA a little higher than you might want, but the walks plus hits per innings pitched, fantastic, under 1.3. Particularly for the MLB level, I should point out. 1-1 the count to David Harris. Before today, he had not appeared in the cleanup spot as a Blue Crab. Gave Stan Clyburn quite the reason to keep him in that spot after a 2-run home run back in the first game. There's only been a handful of innings in which runs have been scored in today's Twin Bill. In Game 1, the only inning that saw scoring was the bottom of the third frame. Dario Pisano brought home Michael Baca after a Baca double. And then David Harris brought himself and Pisano home on a sky-scraping home run to left field. 3-1 the count.
Oh, man, we talked about it a lot last game. We talked about it a lot the last game right after it happened. Right off the bat, you can see the launch angle at that ball. Absolute no doubter from David Harris.
That is exactly what the doctor ordered. If you're David Harris and the Blue Crabs, a leadoff walk, put some speed on base for Joe DeLuca, who has driven in the only run of this, scored the only run of this entire ball game.
Good at bat there by David Harris. If you know your situation, you know it's late in the game, you need a runner on in order to take this lead. Nice job waiting on those pitches, making sure he gets on.
The lone Blue Crabs run of this game was scored back in the bottom of the second. Alex Crosby, who awaits on deck, doubled home Joe DeLuca, who reached on an error. The lone Barnstormers run of the day as DeLuca lays down a bunt. Moya looks to second. There's no time to do so, and a beautiful sacrifice bunt puts a runner in scoring position with one down. That is good baseball.
You know, Andrew, we've talked about it a couple times in between innings, in between batters. We don't know why Joe DeLuca's bunting, but it's working.
True. Certainly in a situation like that, it definitely makes a little bit more sense than earlier in the day.
Of course.
Earlier in the day, at least for us, was a head-scratcher.
Yes.
It was a beautiful bunt. He just didn't have the legs to make it much of a foot race. So now Crosby, the individual who's driven in the only run in this contest for the Blue Crabs, finds another runner in scoring position. A single will easily bring home the speed that stands on second base in the form of David Harris. Oh, and 1 the count. Crosby, much like Mike Devine, spent nearly all of his career in the American Association before joining the Blue Crabs. A little step up in the competition level, both have fared awfully well. Harris toying with the pitcher Moya. Crosby fouls one back into the netting. And the MLB veteran Moya ahead in the count 0-2.
You know, I love what Harris is doing at second base there. As a runner, you aren't allowed to do a whole lot, obviously, to toy with the pitcher. But just, doing those little jump movements gets in his head, make him think about whether you're going to run or not, and I like it.
I love this move by Daryl Thompson, the pitching coach, and Stan Clyburn, the manager. Matt Latos is throwing in the bullpen once again. He appeared earlier in the day today. There's no question that he's a guy that has the endurance to pitch twice in a day. Mm-hmm. It's not unprecedented. It's happened in the MLB this year. Liam Hendricks did it last week, the closer for the White Sox. Not to mention, Latos had only appeared in 2 games before today, most recently back on June the 4th, the Blue Crabs home opener. It's been some 8 days since then, so 2 innings on the tenured right arm of Matt Latos shouldn't be too much to handle. 0-2 the count to Crosby, a long look back to second. Crosby waves past the fastball, and a much-needed strikeout for Gabriel Moya puts the Blue Crabs in a predicament. 2 down with a runner in scoring position here in this bottom of the 6th. Now, if you're Stan Clyburn, I'm going to give you 2 situations.
Listening.
Either the Blue Crabs do or do not score a run here.
Okay.
In either or both situations, do you bring in Matt Latos?
I think so. You really just said when you were talking about him earlier, he has the endurance to play 2 times in a day. I think he has the endurance to potentially even start a game and go 4 or 5 innings if needed. He's one of those guys that's been in the pros before. He knows how all of that works. I think you can give him some more innings and he'll be perfectly fine.
The most Latos went in a game last year was 3 innings. He did all of that in extra innings, pitched the 9th, 10th, and 11th, which is incredibly difficult to do because in the Atlantic League, in extra innings, a runner starts at second base. That game was against the New Britain Bees. In both of the extra innings, they bunted the guy over to third, and Latos retired back-to-back batters to stop him from scoring. High and tight to Zach Collier, who dodges out of the way of danger as the count evens at a ball and a strike.
A little delayed reaction from Collier as well. It looked like maybe he thought that ball was going to break into the strike zone until he realized it was right next to his face.
Collier wears number 8 on the back of the Brew Crabs jersey. Southern Maryland celebrating their very own beer that they released this season. A look back to second. Moya has been pretty occupied. It appears as though David Harris, so to say, is living rent-free in the MLB veteran's head.
David Harris is doing all that he can at second base to throw off Moya, and it's working. There's been, I believe, 2 times now where Moya has just stared at Harris and had to step off the bag, which is huge.
It is, and the interesting part about it is that nobody's even covering the base, so he couldn't even pick him off if he wanted to.
Mm-hmm. He's just so in his head at the moment he has to step off and take a second for himself.
The pitch to Collier. A beautiful sliding curveball slices through the strike zone. 2-2 the count.
Yeah, you can tell Collier's facial expression after that one. Didn't want to let it go, but wasn't sure if it was going to stay in the zone or not.
Collier preparing for the 2-2 delivery. 2 down, a runner at second, 1-1 the score in the bottom of the 6th. Moya set the belt. A look back to second. And Zach Collier wisely calls time.
I didn't realize that Collier was the one that called time there. I was going to make another note that is another time that Harris has forced Moya to step off the mound. But wise call there by Zach Collier.
And you could argue that the reason Collier called time is because Harris was making Moya take so much time.
Exactly.
2-2 on its way once again. Fastball comes up, hits Collier off the knuckles, which of course is considered to be a part of the bat, so it's a foul ball. 2-2 remains the count.
To Collier's look, from my angle, it looked like that perfectly hit the knob of the bat. You can see afterwards, wasn't really moving his hand around or anything like that. I think it was just a straight up foul ball off the knob.
He didn't even react either.
He just kind of let it go.
Not the first time we've seen that today. 2 balls and as many strikes. Moya, the southpaw, set at the belt. A look back to second, the pitch. High and tight once again. That's the 3rd time in this at-bat that Moya has come way up and way in to Zach Collier, and now the count works full.
Full count now. You don't want to walk Zach Collier. That adds a little more speed to the bases, and that brings up Jake Marshall. We've talked about really coming to his own so far in this season.
Fans clapping. Payoff pitch. Incoming from Gabriel Moya. A look back to second. The delivery. Collier's not going away that easy. Fouls it back into the Roy Rogers backstop padding, and we'll do it all over again. Matt Latos continues to warm in the Blue Crabs bullpen. He will enter this contest, and we know that because Jordan Scott awaits on deck, meaning that Stan Clyburn has all but decided that Andres Brasano's evening is over. 3-2 on its way once more. Here comes Moya. Collier hits it straight up in the air right towards us in the Bayonet press box. The baseball lands safely in the bleacher seats. Make that the bowl of Regency Furniture Stadium. You know, I think one of the best attributes of Regency Furniture Stadium is that it has no bleacher seats. It's all box seats, which I think is pretty incredible. 4,200 of them, to be in fact. Collier battling with Gabriel Moya, neither side willing to give in. The 3-2 on its way once more. A long look from Moya. And Collier will not back down.
That was the 8th pitch of this at-bat. Collier wants to bring Harris in from second base. All you need is just a little poke to find some outfield grass, and it'll be sure to score him.
Pretty healthy gap there in left center. In addition, a ground ball up the middle will surely get through with a heavy shift both to Collier's pull side and shading his opposite field side as the shortstop, Shumpert. Payoff pitch one more time. Pitch number 9 on its way. Collier straight up in the air. That pitch likely gets out of here again. Peroni gives chase. But how about it? Double-digit pitches in this at-bat for Zach Collier.
And the Southern Maryland faithful have slowly started to get louder as they now realize what a feat this is. Collier really hanging in there in this at-bat.
Zach Collier showing why he was brought onto this Southern Maryland squad to lead as a veteran, a guy with a ton of experience, both in affiliated baseball and in independent baseball. A former first-round draft pick facing off against Gabriel Moya. In the MLB as recently as 2018 was the southpaw. The left-on-left matchup continues. Pitch number 10. High and tight, a curveball. Foul tipped and off the protective shielding of Peroni. And 10 pitches was not enough to end this at-bat. Here comes 11. And if you're Collier, in addition to Harris getting in the head of Moya, you feel as though you've also mentally defeated him.
Once you starting to get past those 7th, 8th pitches of like a longer at-bat, you know you're in this pitcher's head. All you need to do is make good contact on one of them and you'll be set.
Collier stays aggressive at the plate. Pitch number 11 on its way from the left hand of Gabriel Moya. Yet again, a fastball fouled into the netting, and Zach Collier will never quit. How about 12 pitches? The 12th pitch on its way. David Harris still out there at second base, as Gabriel Moya has stopped even looking back to the second base area. Now he gives him a look. 3-2 on its way once more. High and tight. 12 pitches. Gets David Harris aboard, and the Blue Crabs dugout and crowd goes crazy.
And a fantastic at-bat by Zach Collier. Especially ending it on a walk, too. Being able to hang off of that high fastball. Those ones, one of the tougher ones to lay off of, especially in those 3-2 counts. You want those high pitches. A nice job by him as he able to reach base.
So due to the Atlantic League MLB rule changes, there's a rule called the double hook rule, meaning that when the starting pitcher exits the game, the relieving pitcher takes the spot of the designated hitter in the batting order. That was Andres Brasano, who has since been substituted out for Jordan Scott, the pinch hitter. And Ross Peoples will have a discussion with Gabriel Moya out on the mound. And for Moya, it's got to be a lonely feeling out there, 10 inches above ground level, after just being mentally defeated by Zach Collier. Just a fantastic display of will from the California native Collier.
You know, that was a good way to put it. Just mentally draining for a pitcher to go out there and give it your all against just this one guy and throwing more than some people throw in an entire inning to just one player really just drains you.
It's true. 12 pitches is what it took to get Zach Collier on base, and now Jordan Scott. First pitch from Moya outside. And if you're Scott, are you going to try to push this at bat a little further? Or are you going to jump on the first pitch you see?
Well, 2 outs in the inning here. I think you got to be aggressive with the good pitches you see. You know, we still have that runner in scoring position. But you also want to be weary because Moya has missed his spots a couple times so far in that Collier at bat.
1-0 inside, ball number 2.
Like
Kent
that one right there
Blackstone.
as well.
Kent Blackstone awaiting on deck, and to your point, he's struggling to find his spots now. It could have something to do with that Collier at bat. Moya trying to stay composed out there on the mound after easily the longest half inning of play we've seen here. Scott, a check swing, but it missed. 3-0 the count.
Nice job holding off there by Jordan Scott, as both the catcher and Moya thought that he went around on that and was going to be called a strike.
And you're taking all the way here if you're Scott, no?
I think so. Especially because you just saw that walk from Collier, and now you got a 3-0 count.
Scott is indeed taking all the way. Fastball does catch the inside corner. Count 3 balls and 1 strike. The crowd not happy with the umpire. The umpire, if he could talk back to them, would say, hey, it wasn't my decision.
If he could talk or understand comprehension.
Moya has it to a hitter's count. Scott looking to play hero in this contest as the pinch hitter. Scott, one of the younger individuals in all of the Atlantic League. Still awaiting his 24th birthday. Moya's 3-1, struck foul, and the count works full once again. Moya has thrown 26 pitches here in this bottom of the 6th, and I think it's also important to mention he also has yet to allow a run. So that's a lot of pitches to throw without allowing a run or even a runner to reach third base.
He's not doing a bad job at the on the mound. It's just that, that pitch.
He's going to catch the inside corner to Jordan Scott. An anticlimactic ending to a stellar frame offensively for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs gives way to Matt Latos, who joins us for the second time so far this day when we return on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Ryan Caparese, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
American Radiology is the clear choice for all of your medical imaging needs. With locations in Charles and Calvert counties, they offer a full range of imaging services. Some of their latest innovations included 3D mammography and wide-open MRIs for our claustrophobic patients. For your convenience, they even offer extended weekday hours and Saturdays. For more information or to schedule an appointment, visit their website at AmericanRadiology.com. 2020 was a year unlike any other for everybody. Quickly, the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs came to the realization that baseball must take a backseat to humanity. Immediately, the Blue Crab staff and all of Crustacean Nation teamed together to provide COVID-19 tests and eventually vaccinations. Southern Maryland's hometown team also hosted food drives, blood drives, backpack drives, toy drives, and so much more, all to help their community. The Blue Crabs couldn't be more thankful to the healthcare heroes that have gotten us to this point and helped our community so much throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. That's why this season is dedicated to our healthcare heroes. Each Saturday night, we will have a healthcare hero, a local healthcare professional, throw out the first pitch of the game and be honored. That's why in 2021, all season long, healthcare professionals get $5 tickets to every single Blue Crabs game. Thank you so much, healthcare heroes, for all that you have, are, and will continue to do for our community.
This is Ryan Dick, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
Matt Latos takes the mound as we take you into the top of the seventh inning here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network. Andrew Bandstra alongside my broadcast partner Stevie Bowen. Blake Galen, the first Lancaster Barnstormer Latos will face this evening. Latos pitched earlier today. He would toss 2/3 of an inning getting the save in game one of this doubleheader. No hits, runs, walks, or strikeouts for the right-hander. His first offering of game two misses outside for ball number one. And after Latos really not getting a ton of chances in high-leverage situations, today has been chock full of them. And when you have a weapon like Latos, having the opportunity to use him in high-leverage situations is an absolute thrill. So I'm sure Stan Clyburn and Daryl Thompson are pretty pleased with today's ball games.
I just saw Latos just 2/3 of an inning for him in that first game. Had a couple of his pitches just overextending on him, unable to hit his spots, kind of spiking him in the dirt. See a little shaky from him as he comes out here the next time out.
2-1 goes the count. To my knowledge, this is the first time that Latos has been able to break out his custom Jordan 11 Columbia blue cleats.
I was just looking at those. They're sweet.
They match the baby blue Blue Crabs, make that Brew Crabs jerseys. The 2-1 from Latos, upstairs for ball number 3, but it was awfully close.
Now, Andrew, for the people that are just joining us, you said Brew Crabs?
That's right. The Blue Crabs came out with their very own beer and released it this season. It is called the Brew Crab. 3-1 outside. The leadoff man reaches on a 5-pitch walk. Giving way to the cleanup hitter, the center fielder number 1, Ladarius Clark.
Clark so far this game 0 for 2 for him, with a strikeout coming back in the top of the second inning. As you look back at this box score throughout, Brandon Barker really just dealing on the mound. despite giving up that one home run, as we said, at the bottom, or excuse me, top of that last inning to Anthony Peroni.
Coming into this appearance, Latos, in just 3 appearances, had more saves than runners allowed on base through his first 3 appearances. 2 saves, 1 runner allowed on base, now his second of the season, and the first walk issued by the MLB veteran. Latos, a throw over to first. In time is Blake Galen, who likely has no intention of stealing, but every inch counts, and if you can get him a little closer back to first base, maybe a double play ball is more likely. Some action in the Blue Crabs' pen. Get you a name and number on that as soon as we are able to see it. Latos, a long look. The right-handed MLB veteran comes set at the belt. Fastball outside for a strike. Oh, and 2 the count. Latos working ahead of Ladarius Clark. Latos lining up on the first base side of the pitching rubber. Fastball low, chopped into the dirt. Staying alive is Ladarius Clark. You know, there's some incredible statistics out there about Latos. One of which being that current Hall of Famers that Latos faced in his career had a 115 batting average against him. And in addition to that, Latos' career batting average as a hitter was higher than that. So he hit better than Hall of Famers hit against him.
You know, as a pitcher that has played in the MLB, that seems like a stat you want.
Yeah, I don't even know if he knows that stat. I actually did all the math one day to try to figure out his averages and compare the two. So, yeah, it would be a stat I would like to know. Certainly. Latos appeared in 2 games in the postseason in his career, starting one of them. 0-2 the count. Hit well to center field, but right at Zach Collier. Takes a couple steps in, catches for out number 1.
No, and that's also what Matt Latos does. As you talked, no hits, no walks, no errors, no runs or anything through those 2/3. He's the kind of guy who can come in, strike people out when you need him, but he's also really good at getting people to fly out and ground out like you just saw there at Collier in center field.
Latos played 11 seasons in the MLB, logging over 1,000 career innings while accumulating a better career ERA than Mike Mussina, Josh Beckett, and many other Hall of Famers. First pitch from Latos to the next man to test him is a fellow MLB veteran, Melvin Mercedes. In 2010, Latos finished 8th in the National League Cy Young Award voting. Off the end of the bat from Mercedes, 1-1 the count. He was masterful for the Blue Crabs last season. He, at one time, strung together 9 straight perfect innings and put together 14 straight hitless innings. And over the course of 20 innings, he allowed 1 hit and 1 walk.
Some pretty impressive numbers from the veteran.
A ball and a strike the count from one MLB veteran to another. Runner goes on the pitch, rather took a hard secondary as Latos' fastball misses inside, putting Mercedes in the driver's seat. 2 balls and a strike.
I didn't notice this at first. Our view was a little bit blocked, but Trayvon Robinson back in the game, pins running at first base. Trying to get a little more speed out there with Blake Galen getting on with that walk. As you said, 2-1 count now to Mercedes.
Likely the reason that Latos keeps having his eye over there on first base. Robinson started and batted in the cleanup spot in game one of this doubleheader, in which the Blue Crabs defeated the Barnstormers by a score of 3-0. 2 balls and a strike to count from Matt Latos to Melvin Mercedes. For Latos, this is his 14th season of professional baseball, his second in the Atlantic League, and second with the Blue Crabs. Fastball just on the outside edge, perfectly placed. Couldn't have put it in a better spot if you're Latos.
I think that was exactly where he wanted to put it. It's one of the more satisfying things as a pitcher, of course, the ball doing exactly what you want it to do.
Latos, an individual that has tremendous control over the baseball. The right-hander lining up on the first base side of the rubber. Runner goes on the pitch. It's high. Throw a little ajar to the right. As Baca will attempt to pretend as if he didn't catch it, but Trayvon Robinson wasn't fooled.
I don't know if you noticed it, but almost simultaneously, Baca and Blackstone both just turned around and started jogging to Collier center field, trying to deke out Robinson at second, but he was not having it.
I feel like if you're going to do that, you really have to sell it. You got to
really
sprint right away.
I've seen teams do it correctly, where like they actually plan it out, and they've done it perfectly, and it looks awesome every time.
The payoff pitch to Mercedes. Struck to the left side, foul, landing in the Legends Club seating, and we'll stay at a full count here in the top of the 7th. We did see Carlos Diaz warming earlier in this game. He later sat down. We do believe that it's Dalton Geeky warming in the Blue Crabs bullpen. Geeky and Latos have been the go-to arms, among the go-to arms in high-leverage situations this season. Bloop shot to the right side. Michael Baca backtracks. It drops. Trayvon Robinson rounds third. Zach Collier will not come up throwing. And just like that, the Barnstormers plate the go-ahead run here in this top of the 7th of a 7-inning game.
And just really a nice piece of hitting there by Mercedes. All you needed to do was just get it into the outfield.
That brings up Kelly Dugan. The first baseman wears number 30 on the back of his red jersey. It's the City Edition jersey for this Barnstormer squad. It says LANC on the front. As Dugan smacks one to the right side, that ball lands fair. David Harris in the corner as the ball pinballs around. Melvin Mercedes rounds third. He has the clear straightaway to home. And the second 7th inning run from this Lancaster Barnstormer squad has spoiled the first 13 innings of action for your Blue Crabs.
And absolutely, Dugan jumping on that first pitch, ripping it down the right field line. Did exactly what he had to do on the plate there, was able to score Mercedes from first. Now the Barnstormers have a 2-run lead here late in the game.
The Dugan double brings up the third baseman, number 6, Blake Allemond. First pitch he sees, swung on and foul. First 2 runs of the year allowed off the right arm of Matt Latos. Latos preparing for the 0-1 delivery. On its way from the MLB veteran. Inside in the dirt, spinning like a top is Joe DeLuca. And the count evens at a ball and a strike. A long look in from the MLB veteran, Matt Latos. He'll step off, collect his thoughts for a second, and step back onto the rubber. The right-hander comes set. The pitch on its way. A beautiful off-speed looping curveball. Gets Joe DeLuca in an unprotected spot. And the home plate umpire will give him a second to try to recover a little bit after an unfortunate placed fastball make that curveball from Matt Latos. Latos, 33 years old, here in his 14th season of professional baseball. Another off-speed pitch, same result. Swinging over it is Alamond, and that's the second out of the Barnstormers' 7th inning. When Southern Maryland comes back to bat, it'll be 9-1-2, Kent Blackstone, Jake Lucci, and Michael Baca. All three candidates to certainly get on base in advance. It's kind of the perfect storm if you're Southern Maryland. You like that 9-1-2 with McAdams and Harris following. First pitch from Matt Latos into number 12, the shortstop Nick Shumpert. Swung on and missed for strike one.
Like Shumpert was just a little too excited. Shumpert was a little too excited for that ball to come in. Swung at a ball that she got spiked into the dirt by Latos. Able to get ahead in the count, 0-1.
Again, Latos appeared earlier today, collecting the save for Southern Maryland. Another off-speed pitch, same result. His last 4 pitches have been off-speed pitches, 2 of which were curveballs, the other 2 splitters. Latos preparing for the 0-2 delivery. On its way from number 41. In between the legs of Joe DeLuca. He fires to first. Could be a drop third strike, but a good rebound from number 17 to take us into the bottom of the 7th. Southern Maryland's offense has some work to do. 9-1-2 due-up on the other end of this break right here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Daryl Thompson, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
In February of 2020, Regency Furniture Stadium and the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs were given what we view as an honor, being named the 4th mass vaccination site in the state of Maryland. Here's a message from Regency Furniture about the honor that it has been and still is to be one of Maryland's mass vaccination sites, getting our community back to safety.
During these times of uncertainty, it helps to know there are things we can control to help ourselves and others.
For me, it presents the hope that soon enough, my friends and family will be together again.
I want to take this moment to thank the Maryland National Guard for their support in helping to facilitate and manage the vaccinations here at the Regency Furniture Stadium. We just think it's so important for everyone to do their part, and we're just grateful for their support.
Thank you for your support, and we're just honored to be a part of the vaccination effort out here and to serve the community.
Whether it's Chris Paul, Cliff Paul, Aaron Rodgers, or even the son of a former Blue Crab, Patrick Mahomes, you've seen many athletes endorsing State Farm. That's because your State Farm agent has your back through good times and not so good times. That's why all the Blue Crabs, Daryl Thompson and the whole team, trust State Farm with their insurance needs. State Farm is the company people have trusted for over 99 years to help life go right. Call your local State Farm agent, Greg Conklin, today at 240-776-4289. Kent Blackstone leads off the Blue Crabs here in this bottom of the 7th. They enter this very last inning of regulation here in today's doubleheader, facing their first make that deficit that they've seen throughout the entire day. Through the first 12 innings of today's doubleheader, the Barnstormers were shut out, but they placed one on the board in the 6th and a pair on the board in the 7th, leading to a 3-1 lead as the 9-1-2 of the Blue Crabs order comes to the plate. Kent Blackstone leads it off, 0-1 the count to the left-handed hitting middle infielder. Fastball swung on and missed, and the count 0-2. Scott Schumann on the mound, a long-time Atlantic League veteran, and I beg your pardon, that was strike 3. Schumann, a long-time Atlantic League veteran, has been with this Barnstormer squad for quite some time and has been among the most effective arms in the Atlantic League for years and years now. So it's a tough and tall task to face off against Schumann, but you could say the same about Latos, so anything can happen. One down here in this top, make that bottom of the 7th inning. This is a 7-inning game, or at least a regulation 7-inning game. Back half of a doubleheader here at Regency Furniture Stadium as Lucci watches ball number 1 pass. You got to think Lucci's plate approach here is take till you get a strike, considering that one looked pretty darn good, but he got the benefit of the doubt from the robot umpires.
He easily could have just been taking that as a strike either way in that at-bat, but he lucked out there getting that one called a ball. So I think you're right. He's going to take till he gets one.
Schumann, the right-hander, wears number 9 on the back of his red jersey. Misses in the dirt. 2-0 the count. Schumann comes set. Glove at the chest, the pitch. In there for strike number 1. 2 balls and a strike the count. Schumann, originally a 19th round draft pick by the Tampa Bay Rays back in 2009. Foul tip from Jake Lucci evens the count at 2 balls and as many strikes. Schumann played in the Rays and Giants system from 2009 through 2013. Took the year off in 2014 before joining the independent ranks. Played for the Bridgeport Bluefish, a former member of the Atlantic League. Played for Long Island. In addition, became a Barnstormer in 2017, where he's been ever since. Has 5 appearances this year, 2 saves, as Lucci gets a piece of this pitch, I believe. That was a little bit of a confusing situation.
Lucci was pretty confident that he got a piece of that ball because in a normal situation, if you swing and miss and the catcher drops it, you go for a drop third strike. But Lucci swore he got a piece of that ball, but Schumann and the catcher both did not think that as well.
So the count 2 balls, 2 strikes. After a little bit of debate, Schumann returns to the mound. To this point on the season, Schumann has yet to allow a run. 10 walks, 3 strikeouts entering play in 6 innings pitched. Has appeared in 5 games. The right-hander again fouled back by Jake Lucci. But again, in the game of baseball, anything can happen. I mean, we mentioned earlier in the broadcast that an outfielder for the Barnstormers got a save on the same day one of their relief pitchers hit a home run. So, crazier things have happened. Certainly crazier things than a 3-1 comeback. 1 down here in the bottom of the 7th. 3-1 the score. Barnstormers on top of the Blue Crabs. Lucci chases a high and away fastball, swings and misses for strike number 3. leaving Michael Baca as the last batter. Make that with all the weight on his shoulders in this contest.
Baca, as we talked about, started off the run scoring for the Blue Crabs in the first game with that 2-out double in the third. So far today, 0 for 3 with a hard line drive to the shortstop back in the first, a fly out and then a strikeout. But he's looking to get things started here once again with 2 outs in the inning.
Southern Maryland's offense on the day, 6 for 44 at the plate. It has been a pitching duel on both sides. In fact, here in the final inning of regulation in our second game of a doubleheader, there has been a combined 14 hits through 14 innings.
Wow.
8 from the Barnstormers, 6 from the Blue Crabs. Baca looking to extend that hit total as he swings and misses on an off-speed pitch, making the count no balls and a strike. Make that no balls, 2 strikes to Baca. As the Crabs make themselves down to their final strike in this contest. Schumann on his way. The 0-2 swung on and missed. And what a change of fortune for the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. After what looked like Southern Maryland was surely going to complete this doubleheader sweep, the Barnstormers came in at the last second and swept the rug out from under the Blue Crabs.
Brandon Barker, nice job on the mound so far today. 6 Ks for him. And of course, Brasano comes in. Oh, excuse me, no. Barker's last batter he faced was that Anthony Peroni home run to left field that tied things up in the bottom of the 6th inning. And they just jumped on top of Matt Latos, who came in the top of the 7th. And that was all she wrote.
Stevie and I will take a moment to collect our thoughts. Then the post-game show begins right here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
This is Daryl Thompson, and you're listening to the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.
In February of 2020, Regency Furniture Stadium and the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs were given what we view as an honor, being named the 4th mass vaccination site in the state of Maryland. Here's a message from Regency Furniture about the honor that it has been and still is to be one of Maryland's mass vaccination sites, getting our community back to safety.
During these times of uncertainty, it helps to know there are things we can control to help ourselves and others.
For me, it presents the hope that soon enough, my friends and family will be together again.
Want to take this moment to thank the Maryland National Guard for their support in helping to facilitate and manage the vaccinations here at the Regency Furniture Stadium. We just think it's so important for everyone to do their part, and we're just grateful for their support.
Thank you for your support, and we're just honored to be a part of the vaccination effort out here and to serve the community.
Whether it's Chris Paul, Cliff Paul, Aaron Rodgers, or even the son of a former Blue Crab, Patrick Mahomes, you've seen many athletes endorsing State Farm. That's because your State Farm agent has your back through good times and not so good times. That's why all the Blue Crabs, Daryl Thompson, and the whole team trust State Farm with their insurance needs. State Farm is the company people have trusted for over 99 years to help life go right. Call your local State Farm agent, Greg Conklin, today at 240-776-4289. The Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network rolls on with our post-game show. Live from the Bayonet Press Box, Andrew Banstra alongside Stevie Bowen. as we take you through a tough ending to today's contest, Stevie. It was a really good first 12 innings for the Blue Crabs, and then things started to fall apart. That started on a solo shot home run in the top of the 6th inning off the bat of Anthony Peroni. 2 more in the top of the 7th broke the hearts of the Blue Crabs. We know it was a 3-0 win for the Blue Crabs in Game 1 of the doubleheader, but break down the numbers for us from Game 2.
Game 2 today, as we said, Alex Crosby started it off, scored Joe DeLuca from first base on a big double off the left field wall. And as you said, Anthony Peroni came in the top of the 6th inning, which looked to be one of their last hopes for them, and smacked a 2-out home run, which tied the game up at 1. And in the top of the 7th inning, Melvin Mercedes singled on a fly ball to the right fielder, David Harris. Trayvon Robinson scored on that play, and then Melvin Mercedes scored on a Kelly Dubin double down the right field line right afterwards. And Blue Crabs just could not come back in the bottom of the last inning.
Tough break for Southern Maryland, looking to turn things around after an off day and then back-to-back rainouts. Southern Maryland drops to 4-10 in the contest, while the Lancaster Barnstormers find themselves advancing to 7-8 on the season. The Blue Crabs split the twin bill with the Lancaster Barnstormers in a late inning heartbreaker here in Southern Maryland. For Stevie Bowen, I'm Andrew Banstra. Thanks so much for tuning in with us today. We'll be back tomorrow. Broadcast starts at 1:50 p.m. right here on the Hometown Real Estate Broadcast Network.